Welcome to my how-to series for Google Sheets. A lot of you have asked how to create a cute habit tracker and how to grow a little plant right in your spreadsheet. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build one from scratch. I love using my habit tracker to stay on top of my self-care, and now you can create yours too. Come along with me as I walk you through each step to build your very own habit tracker spreadsheet. The first thing that you want to do is head over to your Google Drive by entering drive.google.com in your browser. Now, click on New at the top left corner and select Google Sheets. This will open a new spreadsheet. The first thing I like to do is to add the name of my file at the top left corner. I do this to make sure that I can find my file in my Google Drive in the future. Then, I want to right-click on column A to resize it to 21. I do this for aesthetics to have a uniform border around my spreadsheet. Now that this is done, the fun part begins. I start by creating a box for the name of my spreadsheet by merging cells B2 and B3. Type Habit Tracker in the merged cells, then center the text both horizontally and vertically. Next, make the text bold and change the font size to 16, and use the Paint Bucket tool to add some background color. You can use different colors to help visually separate the sections of your spreadsheet. Select cells B5 and B6 and merge the cells together. Enter the month that you are planning for. Center the text, make it bold, then size it to 14. Use the paint bucket to color the background. Merge the two cells directly below for the year. To change things up, go to the Border tool. Select the second size border from the menu and change the color. Center the text in both directions and size it to 14. Let's start building the table for our habit tracker. Select and merge cells B12 to B14. Enter daily habits. Once again, center the text, make it bold, size it to 16, and add some background color. Select B15 to B34 and create a border around the selection. Select B35 to B37 and change the background color. I accidentally selected B38 and will remove that row later in the video. We need to add more columns. Select column C1 then scroll to the far right. While holding down the Shift key, click on the Z column. Right-click on the selection and add rows to the right. Select column C, then scroll to column AG and while holding down the Shift key, select it. Right-click on the selection, then select Resize Columns. Enter 32 for the size. Select columns AH to AJ and resize them to 85. Let's get the grid lines out of the way. To do this, go to the View menu, select Show, then Grid Lines. In row 14, starting in column C, enter the numbers 1 to 31 across the row to represent each day of the month. Merge cells C12 to I12 and enter week 1. Select and merge J12 to P12 and enter week 2. Select and merge Q12 to W12 and enter week 3. Select and merge X12 to add 12 and enter week 4. Select and merge AE12 to AG12 and enter week 3. Now, select C12 to AG14, then center and bold the text. In cell C13, we will enter a formula to generate the first letter of the day of the week based on the month and the year that we have entered. This formula starts by using the date function to create the first day of the month and year we selected. The year is taken from cell B7 and the month name from cell B5. To turn the month name into a number, we use the date value function with a 1 added in front, so Google Sheets can recognize it as a full date. Then, the text function takes that date and turns it into the full name of the day, like Monday or Tuesday. Finally, the left function grabs just the first letter of that day name. So in the end, we get M for Monday, T for Tuesday, and so on. Next, copy the formula into cell D13. Change the number 1 inside the formula to a 2, and the cell will show the next day of the week. Then, replace the 1 for a 3 in the next cell, then 4, and so on. Once we are done with the first week, we can copy and paste this in all of the other weeks. Select the first 7 days, copy them, then select and right-click on J13 to P13, choose Paste Special, then Formula Only. Repeat this for all of the other weeks. Let's add some color to the weeks so they're easier to tell apart. Select C12 to I14, go to the paint bucket and select a new color. Repeat this for every week by selecting different colors. I also want to define the area where the checkboxes will go. Select cell C15 to I34. Go to the border tool. Select the same color as above. Then click on the right border and down border. Repeat this for every week. Now, we'll add color blocks at the bottom of the table. This section will use formulas to calculate how many habits we've completed each day, giving us a quick visual overview of our progress. At the right of the table, merge cells AH12 to AH14, then AI12 to AI14, then AJ12 to AJ14. Enter days complete. Current streak. And longest streak. Center the text, make it bold and size it to 13. Use the color fill tool to change the background color, then add borders to define the area. I will add a few daily habits to prepare the spreadsheet for formulas. To add checkboxes to the table, select cell C15 and while holding down the Shift key, select a G34. Now go to the Insert menu and select Checkbox. To match the colors of the checkboxes to the rest of the week, select the checkboxes, then go to the Text Color tool and change the color. I made a mistake in the second week and changed the color using the Color Fill Paint Bucket tool. I noticed this a little later on and corrected it. The spreadsheet is really taking form. The formulas that we are about to enter took me a while to figure out, and I'm glad that I can share them with you. First, in cell AH15, we'll enter a formula to calculate how many days we've completed a task. This formula counts the number of checkboxes marked as true in that row. It uses the COUNTIF function to check how many cells from C15 to AG15 are marked as true, which means the habit was completed on that day. If none are marked, the if function keeps the cell blank instead of showing a 0. Otherwise, it shows the total number of days completed. Next, we'll calculate the current streak. In other words, how many days in a row the habit has been completed, ending with the most recent day. The formula first checks if there are any completed days in the row. If there aren't, it stays blank. If there are, it goes through the cells from C15 to AG15 and looks for how many true values are grouped together at the end. It uses join, transpose, sort, and split to figure this out, and then counts the length of that streak. So if you've checked off 3 days in a row, it will show 3. And finally, we'll calculate the longest streak. This tells us the highest number of days in a row that the habit was completed, anywhere in the row. The formula checks if there are any completed days first. If there aren't, it stays blank. If there are, it joins all the checkboxes together into one line of text, then splits that line wherever there's a break, meaning a false or unchecked day. It then looks at the longest group of true values and gives you the length of that group. That's your longest streak. It's always a good idea to test your formulas. To quickly copy the formula down, click on the cell where the formula is located, click and drag the small circle in the lower right corner of the selection down to the bottom. Repeat this for all 3 columns. This trick also copies the formatting from the first cell. You might need to make a few adjustments to fix any colors, borders, or text styles that came along with it. At the bottom left, enter complete, incomplete, and %complete. Go to cell C35 and enter the following formula. It counts how many habits have been completed on the first day. It looks at each row from C15 to C34 and checks if the box is marked as true, meaning the habit was completed. At the same time, it checks column B in the same rows to make sure the habit name isn't blank. So this formula only counts completed habits for rows that actually have a task written in them. The fastest way to copy and paste a formula without affecting the formatting is to first copy the formula in cell C35. Then, select all of the cells where you want to add a formula. Right-click on the selection, then go to Paste Special, then Formula Only. In the next row, enter the following formula to count how many habits were missed. It looks through cells C15 to C34 and checks for any that are marked as false, which means the habit wasn't completed. At the same time, it makes sure the habit name in column B isn't blank. So it only counts missed habits for rows that actually have a task written. In cell C37, enter this formula to calculate the percentage of habits you've completed. It divides the number of completed habits by the total number of habits, then gives you the result as a percentage. This gives you a quick view of your overall progress. Change the formatting by selecting the row and clicking the % icon in the toolbar. Then reduce the decimal places to 0 to keep it compact and easy to read. While testing my formulas, I noticed that the text in the last 3 columns was stretching the rows wider. I found this a bit distracting, so I fixed it by reducing the font size to 10. Now comes my favorite part. Let's add plants that grow as we complete our tasks. First, you'll need to create 5 versions of the same plant, each one showing a different stage of growth. I made mine using Canva. If you'd like me to show you how I did it, let me know in the comments. Once your images are ready, it's time to import them. Click on cell C40, go to the Insert menu, choose Image, then select Insert Image in cell. You can either find the file on your computer or drag and drop it directly into the spreadsheet. Repeat this for all 5 images. Merge cells C9 to C11. Then drag this cell to the end of week 5 to copy this formatting. Now we'll add a formula that shows a growing cactus based on how many habits you've completed. It's a fun way to stay motivated. This formula looks at the percentage in cell C37. If it's 0, it stays blank. Otherwise, it checks which range the percentage falls into, and shows the matching cactus image from cells C40 to G40. The more habits you complete, the more your cactus grows. Click on your plant and drag the dot at the bottom right all the way to the end of week 5. I left some space at the top of the spreadsheet to add a chart that shows your progress over time. To create the chart, start by selecting cell C14. Then, hold down the Shift key and click on cell AG14 to select the full row of dates. Next, hold down the Control key and click on cell C35. While still holding Control, also hold Shift and click on cell AG35. This lets you select 2 separate rows at the same time. It's a great trick to save time when selecting different parts of your spreadsheet. To add the chart, go to Insert in the menu toolbar at the top. Select Chart. In the menu that opens up at the right, under Chart Type, select the first option under Area. Click on Treat Labels as text at the bottom. Resize and move the chart to fit the area at the top. Double-click on the title, or in the menu at the right, click on the Customize tab. Select Chart and Axis Titles, and change the title to Daily Productivity. Under Chart Style, remove Background Color, and remove Border. Tick the Smooth checkbox. Under Series, change the point size to 7. Click on the horizontal lines in the chart, then untick the Major Grid Lines box. Click on Percent Complete at the left of the chart and delete it. We're all done with the chart. Go ahead and test it out by ticking some of the checkboxes. As you check off habits, the chart will update automatically to show your progress over time. Now merge cells AH2 to AJ3. Then, write. This month, I have grown. Merge AH5 to AH10. Then merge AI5 to AI10. This formula counts how many days your habit completion rate was 80% or higher. This gives you a quick way to see how many strong habit days you've had. Copy the image in cell G40, then paste it in cell AI5. And that's it. You've just created your own habit tracker in Google Sheets with a fun little plant that grows as you stick to your habits. It's simple, visual, and a great way to stay motivated day by day. If you found this helpful, feel free to like the video and subscribe for more spreadsheet projects like this. And if you want me to show you how I made the plant images, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and happy tracking!